Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Chris Vallée.
I am Zoey Schvan. I am a disabled entrepreneur. I have familial dysautonomia. It's super rare. I'm the only one in Ottawa for sure.
Familial dysautonomia is a genetic disorder that affects the development and survival of certain nerve cells. Zoey decided to share her story when she could no longer hide her illness from her friends.
For years, I kind of denied it about myself. Like, I didn't talk about it. But then I got a walker. I started to need a walker. And so it became more visible, so I couldn't hide it anymore, right? So it kind of was more out in the open. And then I realized that I had nothing to hide at the end of the day.
Entrepreneurship runs in your family, so what got you interested in becoming an entrepreneur in the first place?
It's kind of something for me that I feel like was inevitable. All my four grandparents were entrepreneurs. My mom's an entrepreneur. We're basically a family of entrepreneurs. So it's kind of all I've seen growing up, I guess. And also just kind of been in my blood. Like I couldn't help it. I think I was like 5 or 6 when I started doing garage sales every weekend, selling my stuff. And then I think around the same time, me and a friend of mine started a detective agency. And I remember convincing my mom to put an ad in the newspaper. Shockingly, we didn't get any clients, but my mom humored that, and I think that was pretty cool of her.
Tell me about Zoey's Business Corner and the services that you offer.
I launched my business back in 2018, I believe, as just a freelance writer. I started by blogging, and people asked me to write and edit for them, so then I turned it into a business. And then the pandemic hit, and I got in touch with Sebastian.
My name is Sebastian Geisert. I work at the Ritter Rockcliffe Community Resource Center, and I'm the project lead for Incubator 13.
Can you describe what Incubator 13 does?
We're a place that's working with youth below the age of 30 on entrepreneurship skills and employment skills training. We're focusing very strongly on the digital skills development, and we work with quite a number of other partners to bring programming to the space.
You brought Zoey in to help collaborate on the entrepreneurship program. Why was that important?
She's been an advocate and a leader for starting this kind of programming. She came back to me and said, like, okay, if we do it like this, how can we do that? How can we run this kind of programming and fit it into what Incubator 13 is already offering? I think she's been reaching out to 20, 30 other organizations in the course of developing this to get an understanding of what's already there. How could we finance this? And what's not there, what's missing. So I think she's been really incremental in getting this started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first session of the Demystifying Entrepreneurship course. He asked me to come on as a mentor for his youth entrepreneurs. So I figured, why not give it a try, see how it goes. And I loved it. So then I took a bunch of courses, got certified as a coach and consultant, all those terms. And then from there, it kind of just grew into itself. And I realized that most of my clients, as well as myself, were disabled. So it was kind of a good fit.
Ever since we were talking about how one day maybe we'll be able to offer a specific program for people with a disability. And it was always clear that if we ever get to do that, it would be Zoey who would run it. And so we've been literally just being there in the background, trying to provide that platform for her to be offering this kind of programming.
Zoey, something that you take very seriously is that you welcome people of all races, abilities, genders, that list can go on. Why is inclusion so important to you?
I think it's what I have never felt growing up. It's what was lacking when I went to school, when I did summer camp, all those things. Sure, I had friends, but I was always the outsider. And I think that's something that I would have loved to have back when I was growing up. So I'm trying to make the world a little bit better in my little corner of the internet, at least.
Are there any words of advice that you'd like to give to people who don't think entrepreneurship is for them because of their disability?
People don't think of this, but if you're an entrepreneur, you make your schedule, right? You have control over everything. You decide what you do. It's very flexible. So being disabled, that's exactly what we need, I think. That flexibility and that ability to do things at our own pace and not be hard on ourselves and be flexible and accommodating and all that. And I think being an entrepreneur makes that all so much easier.